Hi there, welcome once again to the Performance Centre here at Howley Hall Golf Club in Leeds. My name's Ryan Rastall, PGA Head Professional here at the Golf Club and also equipment expert for Golfshake.com. Today we're taking a look at the new fairway woods from Callaway. The new Paradym family has just arrived with us, so we have the Triple Diamond, the Standard Paradym and also Paradym X to take a look at. So let's have a little bit of a look at the tech. So we'll talk about each model individually and we'll start with the Triple Diamond, okay? This is probably the model that's gonna suit less golfers out there than anything, but we need it in the range because it's a lower spinning option. We can see the weight slightly more towards the face there. In terms of looks, when we look down on this golf club, we'll see the chevrons disappeared from the top there. It's a bit of a cleaner look and a bit more classic kind of shaping. We can see here this weight in the front there. So the tungsten speed cartridge that Callaway put in all of their fairway woods really helps to, as it would suggest, make the ball come off the face that little bit quicker. We have a C300 majoriy steel face as well, which again ensures ball speed or similar ball speeds and spins across the face as well. So just enhances that quality. We have triaxial carbon in the crown as well to really help with the stiffness, but also reduce weight that can be moved around the club head and make this club head as efficient as possible, because whilst it's still aimed at probably your better ball striker and lower spinner of the golf ball, if you like, or someone who wants low spin, should I say, we still need some forgiveness in there as well. When you look in the bags of most of the players on tour, they're probably going to be using this Triple Diamond model because it helps bring that spin down, controls the launch a little bit, and the heads tend to be that little bit smaller and more appealing to the eye for most of those types of players. When we look at the Standard Paradym Fairway wood, okay, we've got a bit more of a footprint here. We can see the chevrons back on the top of the golf club. We've got the forged carbon body and also the triaxial carbon in the top there. We've got the tungsten speed cartridge that we can see in there and also the AI in the face too. So different face to what we saw in Triple Diamond. So each of these fairway woods is designed individually, but also each loft is designed individually as well to really get the face that performs the best in each of the fairway woods. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is adjustability. Okay, so all of these three models are now adjustable. Many that we have seen over the past couple of years for Callaway have been glued hosels. We've now got that adjustability in these fairway woods to help us really kind of dial them in for every player that we fit, so we can move loft, we can make them draw bias. We've still got forged carbon in there, we've got the back wing technology and some of the other tech that we spoke about with Triple Diamond, but what we should find with the Standard Paradym is that it's a bit easier to launch, the spin may be a little bit higher, and this kind of face and the pattern on the face is a little bit different to what we saw in Triple Diamond. We can see that we've got grooves all the way across the face in Triple Diamond, and this kind of, I'd say that's more of a traditional Callaway looking face to a fairway wood that we've maybe seen throughout the years as well. So this is probably going to suit the vast majority of you out there. So the third in the family is the Paradym X. This is the most forgiving, highest launching, but still features many of the technologies that we see in the others. Forged carbon in there, we've got the triaxial carbon in the crown, we've still got the chevron on the top, larger footprint, we've got tungsten speed cartridge there in the front of the fairway wood there, and we've also got the back wing technology in there to help stiffen the head and get us really good ball speed and spin consistency. Slight draw bias in this head, and the X is the most forgiving of these three, so we'd expect this to launch a bit higher when we test it, maybe spin a bit more, and who knows, it might go a little bit straighter. That's the tech. Let's get to hitting some here in the Performance Centre, put them through their paces and show you exactly how they perform when we look at the trackman data. We're going to start our test today with Paradym X. So this should be the highest launching, slightly higher spinning, little bit draw bias as well. I've put the same shaft, I'm going to use the same in all of these now that we've got this adjustability. So Ventus 7X, so it's a shaft that I use in my fairway woods at the moment, so should be pretty comparable. But yeah, let's have a bit of a hit. In terms of looks extremely forgiving, nice big footprint, looks pretty friendly to be honest. So let's have a few hits with it and see how we hit it. So it felt good, a little bit out the toe, but in terms of straightness, very, very happy with that. Launch looked pretty good. Yeah, just it felt very, very forgiving to be honest. I quite like the look of it behind the ball. Although it looks bigger than I'm used to seeing, and I can definitely see the loft on there, so it looks a bit more lofted. I don't really mind that at all, to be honest. It just looks easy to use. Just feels really good off the face. So easy to use, and got away with some pretty awful strikes that have gone quite straight, really. I towed the first couple, and they were well up in the sort of 270 mark in terms of distance, which is what I would normally hit a good one. So be interesting to see whether this carries on all the way through these fairway woods, but certainly Paradym X, very, very easy to use. We now move on to the standard Paradym fairway wood, okay? Exactly the same shaft, same setting. Looks pretty similar, to be honest, to Paradym X. I can't really tell that much of a difference. Sits maybe a little bit more open, but there's no really discernible difference between the two. Feel pretty similar too. A little bit down the right there, but okay, we'll take it. Just off the fairway. Like I say, I like the look of it, and I really like the Paradym X as well. And performance-wise, I don't really think we'll see that much difference between the two. You can definitely feel the forgiveness in there because, like I say, I've hit some fairly average strikes there, and the performance has been pretty good. So we're finishing now with Paradym Triple Diamond. Obviously this model, a little bit less forgiving, should be a bit lower launching and spinning than the other two. Slightly different look at address without the chevron on the top there, but probably the model that should suit me a little bit better, but we'll have a look and see. I certainly prefer the look of it in the playing position. Sits that little bit more open, which I quite like. Very different feel off the face straight away. Just pulled that one a little bit. Has to be said, much prefer the feel of this one off the face. Just feels a bit more solid. And by the look of the flight, it's a bit easier to kind of control the flight of a little bit. Let's just hit one more to finish off with. But yeah, looks-wise, feel-wise, everything about it just suits my eye a little bit better, really. A little bit down the right, but not a bad strike again. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when we have a look at the numbers which one comes out the best, but straight away this one for me kind of feels that little bit better. But let's go and take a look. Let's take a quick look then at the data that we got when hitting the Paradym series of fairway wood. So we started with Paradym X, okay? Let's have a look at these numbers then. So 254, nearly 255 carry and 273 total, so pretty good. 156 ball speed and 105 average height, which is pretty good. It's not the highest though. I mean, I was expecting this to be quite considerably higher than both the other two, and we can see on here that we're not really getting that. But what I could feel when hitting it on the trackman there is just how easy it was to hit. Yeah, it was easy to get the ball in the air. It did feel that bit more forgiving off the face than the other two models, but certainly when we look at the performance here, it's very, very good, and certainly really compares to the others very favourably. Did it feel more draw bias? Well, no, not really. And certainly when we look at kind of where the shots have gone, if anything, it's probably the most consistent in terms of the dispersion as well. So don't discount this fairway wood. If you're looking at getting a new one for this year, potentially Paradym X, even though you're a player who would traditionally go for triple diamond or maybe the standard model, I would have a hit with this and see exactly how it goes for you. Let's move on to the standard Paradym, okay? Now, this one, whilst I said in the video that it felt very similar to the X model, we can see in terms of the performance that we're getting, I mean, it's not a million miles away, but it didn't go quite as far for me. So the carry was down a little bit, total distance was ever so slightly as well, similar ball speed, but yeah, I just didn't really hit as good a shots with this as I did with the X model and also triple diamond when we got onto that as well. But yeah, for me, it was similar. I mean, if we look at all of these three, we can see spin-wise, there's not that much difference between all of them. And certainly we'd expect the triple diamond to be the lowest spin, and in the test I've just done, it was the highest. These all perform differently for different types of golfer, and obviously for me, I've just hit shots there where that one spun a little bit more. I'm getting a bit more distance out of the triple diamond if we look at that one. So when we move on to this head, which should be the least forgiving of the three, I've probably hit it the best. And I would imagine that I should hit this one the best because it's the one that's designed for a player like me. If I had to choose right now, strangely as it sounds, I'd be between Triple Diamond and Paradym X, to be honest. I'm not really sure which one I would choose out of the two. I'd have to do a bit more testing out on the golf course and see the ball flight, which we're going to do in a second, and then we'll talk you through what we find out there. But certainly just looking at the numbers, there's not really one that jumps out as to the one that performs the best. So let's head out there, hit a few on the golf course, and then wrap everything up with which one we think is going to suit me the best. First one we hit was Paradym X. You can see just down the right-hand side of the fairway there, but pretty solid shot, nice high flight. Second shot I hit with it. I really like the look of this club behind the ball, but in terms of the feel off the face, second one now, much straighter, just down the right, little draw. When we get into hitting the standard Paradym, again, similar kind of shot shape, just a bit pushy down the right-hand side, but pretty solid hit. But there's just something about it that, out of the three, this one I think is my least favourite, but still, some of the shots I hit were really, really nice. High sort of draw, finishing down the right-hand side. When we get into hitting the Triple Diamond, flight completely different, much more powerful, slightly lower looking trajectory. And again, the strike just felt that bit more solid, and literally two in a row, straight down the middle of the fairway, just starting down the right, little draw, but finishing exactly where I want them. Hopefully you've enjoyed that review. I've certainly loved hitting it. Please pop some comments in the comment section below about any of the reviews that you've seen here on the channel. Be more than happy to answer your questions. And we'll see you all very, very soon.